Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dark Souls Remastered. In this part, we are going to give the Door of Chaos the rest of the humanities to make her have 30 so that we can use a shortcut later in the game. I actually did a bit of weapon leveling up. I got the Qualag Fury Sword. I upgraded the curved blade that I had. That was pretty useless in previous episodes, and got up the plus 10 and turned it into the Fury Sword, which is going to be very helpful, like really later on in the game. And to get the humanities that I needed, like I was 3 short because I miscounted, so I went to an NPC and bought 1 humanity off her because she only sells 1, and then I went back to the place where that bridge is that the Drake stands on. I went under there and I used that there ring with serpents on it to increase item discovery, and got the 2 humanity that I needed off them. So there we go. We can now access the shortcut, and I also leveled up 1. Now the problem with the previous video with the audio delay, near the end of this video, about 17 of the last minutes of this video, this problem happened again. So I'm doing the commentary after recording. Hopefully it will not happen in the next video. I will try my absolute best to make sure of that. I don't know what really caused it. I changed things and it improved it, and I also made a Divine weapon for when I'm going to be going for Nito, which will be a few episodes away. And for a Divine weapon, you only need a weapon to be up to plus 5, and then you can turn it into a Divine weapon, as long as you give the blacksmith the Divine Ember. Now, the first thing we're going to do in this video is fight the Ceaseless Discharge, who's pretty easy as a boss if you know the easy way to beat him, which I'm going to use here. See these enemies here? They are a nightmare. I don't know if I talked about them in the Blighttown episode, but if you kill these, their backs will explode, and lots of tiny parasites will come out of them, and if they attack you enough, they can infect you, which will make your head actually go the way their back is. And when you do the kick move, it makes the parasite come out of your head and attack the opponent, but you cannot infect other enemies, which would have made it more cool if they allowed that, in my opinion. Now, this is where we're going to fight this boss. The interesting thing to note is this boss will not attack you until you pick up the armor piece that he's protecting. Which means right now I'm perfectly safe. I cannot be attacked because the boss is not activated yet. He'll just stand there. I can stand in plain sight of him, won't do nothing. But the moment I pick that up, which has lots of good fire resistance by the way, he will activate, it will start the fight. So once I pick this up, I'm going to make a run for it to try and get to the safe spot. And as you see, if he hits you once, he does tremendous damage. So the safe spot is up there. That's more or less that wee corner that I'm standing in. And this is where I'm going to change the armor for the new armor I now have with better fire resistance and stuff. It actually has decent resistance to poison if I remember right. And it cannot be upgraded. It's like Havel armor and stuff. It's like a special armor that you cannot upgrade. But yeah, I'm more or less waiting here to try and get him to walk into like my direction, to be more to that side. But his fire kind of went through the wall there. So I kind of guessed that wasn't going to work. So all I really can do is just make a run for it. And what I want him to do is jump and have his arm on the ledge. Once he does that, he's vulnerable, and that'll give me the easy kill. The moment he does that, all I need is a few hits on his hand and he'll be dead. Which will allow me to progress. Now that I'm going to go down to the place that used to be covered in lava, the important thing to remember is further down where like all the Taurus demons are, you're better off waiting until you get the ring from the lava centipede or whatever it's called, which allows you to walk on lava, because there is a couple of items that are kind of like in the middle of lava or just past lava that you have to walk through to get to them, and lava would just do too much damage. So the best thing to do is just progress from here. And I'm going to have to fight a Capra demon to get past. But yeah, until I get the ring from that boss that I talked about, it'll be pointless to go over and try and fight them. Well, not more or less pointless to try and fight them, but pointless trying to go over there to get the items and then having to go back and fight them all over again. Well, the Capra demon's pretty easy, just more or less avoid his attacks and get a couple of hits in. And blocking one or two of his hits with the shield is not too bad when you have like decent stamina. If your stamina is low, you do not want to block a single hit, because it would probably make you run out of stamina. Well, down along here there's a spot that has lots of Capra demons, but we're not going to fight them. We're going to jump off that ledge, and there's going to be an enemy down there where I have to fight, where there's a bonfire. And this enemy can breathe, can puke like acid up and like destroy your weapon. And I kind of made a big mistake from choosing that side to attack that enemy, but I didn't catch on to that at that point. And of course I died. I think I died twice to this same enemy, but then I kind of caught on the second time that I died on how to properly fight it. Because I haven't played the game in so long, I kind of forgot how to fight it. So yeah, what you want to do is get down to his right hand side, but I'm going towards his left hand side. But I kind of refigured it out when fighting him, and I grabbed Pyromancy because I thought, why not, get as much damage in as I can. But Pyromancy does pretty low damage because the enemies in this area are pretty much resistant to fire. But little damage is better than no damage, so... And then I think I kind of catch on around here. Wait a minute, I've got all the space on the right hand side. Maybe I should go there. I also recognise that that pillar kind of protects me from it. Yeah, I was searching to see if I had any fire bombs, but I didn't. I was looking to see if I had any black fire bombs with me, but I left. Whatever fire bombs I did have, I left in the bottomless box, so I didn't have them on me. But yeah, it's around here is when I kind of figured it out. Just stay on this side and attack him when there's an opening. And the best opening you have to attack this enemy is when he does his acid. Like when he starts his acid, he always starts on this side, which means once he starts spraying it further around the other side, that's your opening to attack him. And yeah. And now I can use the bonfire right next to him. And of course, I think I level up again just to spend the souls away. so I don't lose too much if I do die. And I kind of looked down the side there after I kill this enemy, because there's an item down the side, and then if you look down there, there's like a giant centipede thing. It looks pretty cool. Now, when fighting the enemies down here, these ones here can breathe fire. And then, once I defeat them, like 4 of them, yeah, once I defeat 4 of them, a Taurus demon will come to attack me on the steps. Plus, further down, there is another one of them enemies that I defeated at that bonfire that can spit acid. So what I do here is just run by it. And once I'm a higher level, I will go down the side and grab the chest and that. I forgot about the 2 enemies that were on top of that staircase and went straight to fight the Capra demon, which put me into a pretty bad situation, but I did get the item, I think. Plus, this fog gate here, I confused it with a brilliant light because of its colour. Even though I could have walked through it and fought that boss, I confused it at the time for a brilliant light that was at the Anor Londo that you can't pass unless you give the Lord Vessel to one of the primordial serpents. And because I'm mistaken that for a brilliant light, I end up leaving this area and going to New Londo ruins. I actually fought these a bit and kind of thought to myself, you know what, if that is a brilliant light, which it isn't, but I confused it for that, maybe it's not worth my time just fighting them, risking dying. So I went back to the bonfire and warped to Firelink Shrine to go to New Londo Ruins. But before going to the New Londo Ruins, I had to get some items. One of them being one of those like curse items that you need to be able to attack ghosts. So I just, made sure I had soul items and stuff to be able to get enough souls to buy enough of them. And I think it's like the same merchant that I bought the one humanity sprite from. And I believe you can only buy four of these items that I'm going to buy off her, because she only sells that many. And of course, before I go to an area or what, I want to have as little souls as possible, so that if I die, I lose less. A good ring for New Londo Ruins, which I don't have, is the ring to prevent bleeding. It is pretty useful in that area because the ghosts use like weapons that bring up bleed damage, like cause bleed build-up, I should say. But if you do not have that there ring, the ring that I picked there for like melee physical defense is pretty good. It is decent as well. So if you have the ring to stop bleed build up, that's a really good ring to use. Or if you don't have that one, you use the one that I'm pretty much using. Yeah, she only has 4 of these, so that's all I could buy. And see, when I figured that out, I was kind of like, oh, you only sell 4. So I kind of just went on my way then.
What a humdrum.
And the really good thing here is someone kindled a bonfire and gave me an extra Estus flask. So instead of being stuck with only 10 Estus flasks, I now have an extra one. So that was pretty neat. One extra healing item, more or less. Because New Londo Ruins can be a bit tough. I probably should have equipped them red moss clumps, but I probably wasn't thinking at the time and didn't equip them. I think I was more or less, at this point, I'm more or less just trying to get enough souls to level up so that I have less souls on me. So instead of losing like 9,000 or 8,000 souls, I'm only really going to lose 2,000 if I die. And now the fun begins. Now we're going to see a familiar face from earlier in the game. But instead of talking, he's now going to try and kill me. He can be parried, as you see. And that's a good option for killing them, because if you see the amount of damage you get from that. He can be pretty difficult to beat if you don't really know how to parry him properly and stuff. He can be a bit more difficult, but he's still beatable either way, whether you parry or not. Now, the main objective in this area is to get the key and to unlock the seal to get rid of all the water. So you want to open the big gates and let all the water out. But the trouble with that is there's tons of ghosts in the way, which can be a complete nightmare. But when you kill these ghosts, you can get more of them items that allows you to attack them. Some curse, forget the name. Or you could get one of their weapons. You can actually get like a ghost dagger off them. And see, when you see their arms stretching like that, you do not want to be within range of that, or they will grab you, and when they grab you, they do lots of damage. And if there's ghosts around, around you when one is doing that to you, that is a very bad situation to be in. Right, so you see in New Londo, this here area, I hate those ghosts. I really hate ghosts, because you literally cannot run away from them, and they can hide in walls and stuff. I hate that. It is cool to watch, oh look at, it's cool to watch ghosts going through walls and stuff like that, but it can be a bit annoying to deal with. Like this ghost here, I can't lock onto him, so I have to kind of attack while looking down at him to get him. Heard some sort of vehicle or something beeping. Now there's a ghost in the wall here, which I have to look out for. and that gives you the parrying dagger. And then there's a ghost up around here, which can be a bit of a nightmare. She can like shoot lightning and stuff at you, and she screams for other ghosts and that. It's so annoying to deal with. Yeah, the ghosts that are holding babies, they can shoot lightning at you, and they're the most annoying one to deal with, because the other ones have to rely on melee, but she can actually just shoot lightning magic pretty much at you. Down here, there's no real reason to go down here, but I went down here when I was playing or recording, I should say, to see if there was anything down here, and from what I seen, there was nothing really there. I think there might have been one item or something, but I do remember there was no real purpose to be here. Yeah, that's right. I don't think there is any items around here. But I checked it all just to be sure. But it is a nice view. Now up here is where we're going to get the key. We're going to get off the NPC over here. And you can also buy them items off him that allows you to hit the ghosts and stuff.
Save for ghosts, you have the Lord Vessel. Very impressive. I know exactly what your intentions are. You seek the four kings whom I guard over. This is the key to the seal. The four kings slumber in the deepest chamber of the ruins. Use this key to break the seal and open the floodgates. Oh, and do not forget, the dark wraiths reside in a dark void called the Abyss. But the Abyss is no place for ordinary mortals. Although, long ago, the knight Artorius traversed the Abyss. If you can find him and learn from him, the Abyss may prove surmountable. Hello there, the key.
Transient Curse, that's what it's called, Transient Curse. I keep forgetting the actual name of it. Now going down this ladder, it would be an absolute nightmare because of the number of ghosts. bad thing that I actually got grabbed like that. So all I could do in that situation is just run for it. I believe there's an item down there as well. This is the best way to deal with like big, large amounts of ghosts, is to try and get them to chase you to a certain point so you can kill them off one by one, pretty much. I think you can jump across that, but I chose not to. Yeah, those broken steps, I do believe you can actually jump across that, but I chose not to be safe. There's an item down those steps, but all it is green shards. And I'm sorry about the jump in animation. That was a fault with my capture card, and that's probably what caused the audio delay later on. Now that we've got the sail opened, we can now activate the lifts. And there's an item at the very top of them steps. I didn't go back there because I realised that the only item that I could think of that was there was the green titanite shards. But I went up here because there's a items here, but I forget what it was. I think it might have been souls or something. No, it was a humanity. But I do know that I didn't go for the other item down there because all it is green titanite shards. I don't really need them because I'm only going to be upgrading a divine weapon with the ones that I have, and I'm only going to be using a divine weapon in one area. You know, like coming up to Nito, that is where I'll be using it. Now, the main thing that I'm planning to do, you know, which I'm going to do for like the rest of this video, is basically getting parts out of the way before going for the 4 kings. Now these enemies here, they can do a grab attack where they drain your health, and they do a lot of like when they do like physical attacks, they do like combos that can drain your stamina really quickly. Walking around them and backstabbing them is a good way of killing them. Another way is if you know how to parry them. You know, if you know the time parrying of their attacks, that's another good way of dealing with them. And they're better off fought one at a time, because if there's 2 or 3 of them, it is indeed a nightmare to deal with them. Unless you're like a pro or like really good at the game. Not exactly a pro, but just someone that's really good at the game that plays Dark Souls a lot. You would probably be able to fight these 2 and 3 at a time. But in general, for someone at my level, I prefer to fight only 1 at a time. The enemies that are most important to get out of the way are the non-spawnable enemies, because I think there's two or 3 of them, but they're these enemies that are like a blob, and they can spit they can spit like an attack at you that could slow you down and drain your health. They also can make like a spear or something come out of their mouth and try and attack you with it. Them enemies do not respawn, and it is a really good idea to get them out of the way, so that when I do go to fight the 4 kings in another video, I won't have to deal with those enemies, only these enemies that I'm fighting now, along with a few ghosts. That would be it, just a bunch of these guys and a few ghosts when going for the 4 kings. Oh aye, and them skulls. The skulls in this area also respawn. I forgot about them. But this enemy that's following me right now, that's the one I want rid of. Or at least was following me. Oh, I got lucky there. He could have got me with that that projectile move that would have drained my health away. And I was also lucky that that spear wasn't enough to kill me. Now in general, when fighting this here enemy, is just get him over to where them stairs are. The reason why I'm doing this is because even though the spit can reach me, his move where a weapon comes out of his mouth will not be able to reach me because I'm under him. But the preferred place I want him is in between those walls on top of them steps. And another good rule is to never get greedy with attacks. I kind of got hit by the spit because I was too close to him and was too greedy for damage. At this point I could have died, but good thing I had a few humanities on me, which will just give me full health. Just make sure I don't die. So all I really have to do is just sweep away at the items, make sure that the skull here dies. I believe there's another enemy down here in one of these houses. Once you kill him, you activate the lift, and then that'll make it a whole lot easier when you go back into the area. Because instead of having to run past all the stuff you already did, you could just use the lift near the start. Think about it, instead of doing what I did to get the 3 humanities, I could have just came here and just got them that way. It wouldn't have cost me a single soul, or even any time of killing rats to get them, if I would have just came here. Like first, before planning to go for the Bed of Chaos. Oh, there's only 2 of them enemies that don't respawn. Because the last one is actually up the steps past this enemy. And this here is like a really good opportunity just to sweep the place for items before going to fight the last non-spawnable enemy. He will have those there skull knights. Oh sorry, I hit the mic. He will have these here enemies that I'm fighting here. And I think there's 3 ghosts in there as well. Like about 2 of this guy and 3 ghosts. And with this here enemy is the same strategy as the other one. Try and get him at the top of the steps and do the exact same thing. But before you can fight him, you're better off just getting rid of these enemies first. And I am sorry about the horrible audio delay at this part. Like the last 10 or 17 minutes of this video. Hopefully it will not happen at the next one and it won't jump and stuff. That there enemy there that I just killed, I got a plunge attack on. Even though it was like a really tiny drop, I still got a plunge attack. I actually found that pretty amusing when I was recording at the time. I believe there's a chest in that room that has a Titanite chunk. I believe there's a ghost in there as well that I looked for. I'm not sure if I found the ghost in here or not. Might have went somewhere else. But I know that chest there has a Titanite chunk, I think it is. And then what I did here was just look around for more items, like killed the rest of the enemies and looked around for more items. Now in the next video I might go for the 4 Kings, or I might continue to go for the Bed of Chaos. Whatever one I decide to do, hopefully I will not have this audio delay. I am really sorry that this happened in 2 videos in a row, but this one's just not as bad as the other one. But yeah, what I did was, after I killed the enemies and I looked around, I homeward boned out to Firelink Shrine. And yeah, this is pretty much the end of the video. And until the next video, goodbye.